We come to the time of citizens communication, and we have four people that have signed up to speak. Before then, I would like to greet everyone that is here tonight, say good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. I want to take a moment to address a topic that's very important to all of us. I know many of you are here because you are interested in the discussion about moving to a 4-day school week. I want to clarify that the 4-day school week is not on tonight's agenda, meaning that no decisions will be made and the board will not be commenting on this matter during the meeting. However, we do value your perspectives and want to ensure that your voices are being heard. That is why we encourage you to share your thoughts during this public comment section of the meeting. I also want to address a point from our last meeting. Many of you may recall that I abstained from the vote on the 4-day school week. I chose to abstain because the board is currently divided on this issue, with varying opinions about its potential benefits and challenges. I felt it was important to strive for full board support and unity before moving forward with such a significant decision. Looking ahead, we anticipate revisiting this issue at the January 20th, 2025 board meeting. At that time, we will consider all options and make a decision on how we will move forward. Please know that the board is committed to doing what is best for both students and staff as we deliberate on this important issue. Your input is incredibly valuable to us, and we encourage you to share your thoughts as we move forward. Thank you for your understanding, and we look forward to hearing from you tonight with your comments. We have 4 people, as I stated, that have signed up to speak. We will give you each 5 minutes. We will have a timer on the screen so that you know that time that is approaching, so that you know when your 5 minutes will be up. The first to speak is Emily Sadler.
Hi, how are y'all tonight? I'm Emily Sadler. I prepared a little something for you. After much thought, I've decided I can no longer stay silent. With the great debate of a 4-day school week going through Devine, I want to give you my personal perspective as a mom, but also as a teacher. I remember a time when getting a job at Devine was far and few between. When I first applied to teach at Devine High School back in 2016, which doesn't seem like that long ago, but feels that long ago, I was one of 4 applicants for only 1 position. When I was offered the job, I was over the moon. I packed up my belongings and I came here in a heartbeat. After meeting my now husband, moving away, getting married, having our first son, we decided we needed to be somewhere in a town closer to family that has great values. Of course, we decided to move back to his hometown, Devine. My mother-in-law has won state championships with DHS. My husband, who some may know as the gingerbread man, has many titles of his own because of his accomplishments within the Devine school districts, because of the amazing employees that supported him. It felt like a no-brainer to bring our own kids here. I say this not just to tell you about me, but to tell you of the love that I have grown for this town and for the community. It's not just where I work, it's where I want my kids to grow up. After Joseph left his career as a police officer in Galveston, we came back to Devine. He became a teacher and a coach. I became a kindergarten teacher. I'm currently in my 4th year. Please, before I get started, do not get me wrong. I love my job. I love my students, and I love the people that I work with. But it's difficult. With more and more teacher value being placed on student scores, teachers are overwhelmed, overworked, overstressed, and what feels like unappreciated. We are responsible for student learning, student comprehension, student safety, just to get started. In what other profession are you expected to take a bullet for someone but have to ask to go potty? Yes, we have a 15-minute conference period each day. Personally, I spend those 15 minutes to use the bathroom, meet with my kindergarten colleagues to discuss meaningful assignments and assessments, but it's not actually enough time to create those. I make copies, talk to parents, record student behavior, pick up my classroom. There's no extra time to create centers, to make small group activities, to come up with new and engaging ways to present our lessons, or much else. Not only myself, but teachers are going to school early, staying late, going to their classrooms on the weekends, or taking work home. When teachers do this, it takes away time from our own families, because we're taking care of other people's children, who we love. Again, please don't misunderstand. I love my children, I love my job, but I also love my family. I have 2 boys of my own that I'm responsible for. They're not in school yet, but go to daycare. When daycare is closed, I'm responsible for finding somewhere for my children to go. I don't ask my daycare teacher to find a different babysitter. I figure it out. Tonight, I, as well as all the other parents here, have found a solution for childcare. Just for the 24-25 school year, we have 15 short weeks out of the 37 weeks in the year. Parents have found solutions. Yes, of course, hands down, I want my students to feel safe, to be fed, to be taken care of. I can't always be that for them. When they're with me, I will willingly be those things and so much more. I'm afraid the community is not hearing our cries. Teachers and students are getting burnt out. Our school is crumbling. Teachers are being faced with more and more discipline problems from students, emphasis placed on student scores, more meetings, more ways to protect children. When teachers are out, we're required to leave extensive notes on how to handle the class, work to be done, how to do the said work, and how to access all of our technology. Then our class ends up being split amongst other teachers because members of our community don't want to support us, don't want to come sub. So being told by community members, you should be grateful for the days you already get off. It's hard, and it feels like a slap to the face. We don't get into this profession for the money or for the days off. We get into this for the love of teaching and for the love of kids. But we're not teaching anymore. We're teaching, troubleshooting technology, triaging bumps and bruises, counseling conflicts. We're preparing for the worst case in schools, all while loving our students and trying to help them be the best that they can be. Even when that means holding them accountable for beating us up, throwing things, or taking off running on us. Do I think a 4-day school week is going to solve all of our issues? No. But a 4-day school week, I hope, will relieve some stress, give teachers and students a day to breathe, a day to be with their family. Please understand again, we love our jobs, we love our students, but the burnout is real for all of us. If you want to get highly qualified, competitive applicants back in teaching positions in Devine ISD, you got to keep your teachers happy. Happy teachers are good teachers. The research has been done, the surveys have been sent and filled out. Please listen. Thank you.
Now, Ms. Melissa Gutierrez.
Good evening. Thank y'all for allowing me the opportunity to speak again. The numbers are telling. According to the Natalia ISD School Board President, Eric Smith, there are at least 85 students from Devine ISD currently enrolled there. Those are some of my babies that I'm no longer able to see in our Devine halls anymore. And that is just at one school district. There are plenty to choose from around Devine who have now adopted this 4-day school model. When looking at the lower end of funding per student per year, that equals over roughly about $1 million for those 85 students. So I have personal experience with I'm a pre-K, so our youngest learners having to extend their day. Because in moving to a 4-day, it would extend it in some fashion. So when House Bill 2610 was enacted, all schools went from minutes to days to minutes. And as a requirement for how school time was measured. It affected pre-K4 significantly as it went from a 2:30 dismissal time to a 3:30 dismissal time. And our children transitioned great. Our children didn't feel the difference the extra hour made. Our nap time was not increased, and our recess time was not increased. A positive that did emerge from that change was that now our students were able to participate in some regular specials classes that were not otherwise offered to them, like computer, library, PE. Our additional time was 60 minutes for our case, but with this new proposed schedule, it could possibly be 30 minutes, give or take, and that can be made into two 15-minute chunks. It's just like teachers are really good at adjusting schedules and making that work for the children. I know DEIC is able to do the same and put it into different blocks, like a 15-minute at the beginning, a 15-minute at the end. It was mentioned last meeting how the kindergarten was not only surviving, but it was crucial for them to have their special schedule at the very end of the day, because that was when those kids were done. They were their second youngest kids, learners on the campus. But right now their specials did move up a time. They now go at 1:10 versus at 2:15, like they used to. And they have transitioned pretty well. They have done that all year so far. And it is a change that was made already this year. Like I said, teachers are creative when building schedules. There are hundreds of brain break songs that are available for free on the internet that correlate with TEKS, that correlate exactly to what the teachers are teaching. And we're able to still have education continue while kids are moving and learning, and they're not falling asleep because they're wiggling and having fun. Let's see. It was interesting to me when reviewing our school calendar from last year, and I know it was just touched on that it was just under 20 days or 20 weeks that we did have a 4-day week. So to adopt the 4-day week into our new calendar, it would mean roughly around 20 additional days to what it was as of April 2024. So last April, at least 108 school districts in Texas had switched to a 4-day school week. In addition, another 15 school districts had a hybrid schedule with 4-day weeks for part of the year. As of this last August, only one Texas school had made the transition back to a 5-day week. So 107 of those districts, it was working. It was still something that they were still going on with, so enough to continue on and keep it in their school schedule. I want to say I do appreciate all the hard work, and I know it's tough. It's a tough thing to make this decision for all of us, but we do appreciate all the hard work y'all are doing.
Next speaker is Rhonda Shelton.
Good evening. Thanks for allowing us to speak. And I really don't want to waste y'all's time. I know I'm going to repeat some things that you've already heard. But this proposal has generated a lot of debate. And I'd like to outline some of the key advantages and challenges while also acknowledging the progress that our community has already made toward accommodating the schedule. I realize that you already know that the most compelling advantage of a 4-day school week is for the potential increase of teacher satisfaction and retention. Districts that have implemented this model have often reported improvements in staff morale, and that's really important. Right now our morale is low. Right now we are beat down. It also has reduction in teacher turnover, a critical benefit at a time when retaining quality educators is more important than ever. Our district has already implemented, like Ms. Gonzalez said, several 4-day school weeks, and parents have successfully adjusted to the new dynamic. Many have arranged childcare, planned their schedules, adapted to meet the needs of their families. The transition has shown that our community is flexible and capable of supporting this model long term. I do know there's challenges. For families with young children, finding affordable childcare can be a challenge. And for students who depend on school for structure and support, the 5th day at home may feel isolating and may be difficult for those children. I get that, and I think we all get that. We all understand that. But what is happening now, what is working now is not working. We are going through so many challenges. It's not like teaching 10 years ago. It's not like teaching 5 years ago. It's so different. So we have teachers coming to school now not wanting to be there. We have teachers being physically abused. We have teachers being hit. And it's not our admin's fault. It's just times are different. Parents are different. Students are different. And I just ask you to please listen to the cries of your teachers, make the difficult but necessary changes needed. If data comes out that it's not a good move, we can change back. I just feel like change is hard and change needs to happen. I urge the board to consider, we also know that Dr. Grandjean does support this, does support a 4-day school week. I can encourage you to support this as well and engage in a transparent dialogue with both the superintendent and the community. It's important that we work together to make an informed decision that balances the needs of students, families, and educators. And just so y'all know, we had to split last week 4 out of the 5 days. We had to split our first grade classes 4 out of the 5 days because either illness, our families were sick, and that's happening regularly. That's happening weekly. It's not, and there's no learning. I can tell you there's no learning going on during that time. It's difficult. The kids are just busy. We're doing busy work, and we have 2 different math curriculums. So if I have students in my class that are learning Eureka, they're not getting Eureka because I'm not teaching Eureka, and vice versa with the Teach Resource. It's difficult, it's challenging, and I just, please also remember that our community has already shown its capacity to adapt. With the proper planning and support, I believe this model can be a success. Thank you, Reed.
And our final speaker is Carrie Davis.
Turns out I'm the one that showed up to speak as a parent. So I am a teacher, but I'm here speaking as a parent because I have 2 kids in the district. They are both at Devine High School. And I think I don't need to repeat everything they've said, but the overall topic here is finding and keeping good quality education in this town. And I grew up here too, and I speak, like what Emily noted, this is where I wanted my kids to grow up, although I wouldn't have said that probably in high school. This is a great town. I know my kids could probably look at any of y'all on this board, anybody in this room, if they needed help, you'd help them. That's the kind of town we're in. And so I want to stay here as a teacher. I want my kids to be proud of being here. We need to keep the good, solid teachers that we have. We need to keep them. And they have several places that they can go in this close area that would give them a different workload, a 4-day work week. And they're right. Challenging. Every job is challenging. I'm not dismissing anybody else's profession, but it is different. I've been a teacher for 25 years, and this is different. 24, whatever. It's different. I know of several districts in this area that have 4 days. Here's the main thing. Y'all put out 2 surveys. I believe it was y'all, Dr. Grandjean. I know as a parent, I filled out 2 surveys, and I know that they came back positive. Maybe not overwhelming, maybe not 100% one way or the other, but you asked us to fill out surveys as parents, and we kind of want to scream like, why are you asking again? We've already told you. We told you. The majority has told you this would work out. The main thing is the board, because I follow y'all in the newspaper, he does a good job at reporting, and I've been to several of your meetings. Y'all do a good job at supporting our superintendent. He is our expert in education on this board. That's why we have him. That's why y'all hired him, whoever was part of that team, and you trust him. And I feel I'm speaking fairly when I say that. So Dr. Grandjean, thank you for speaking in your support. I think it was 2 meetings ago when you spoke your support for this 4-day week, and you see the benefits. And I feel certain in my heart and in my mind that you've done all the research you feel needs to be done in order to make a good recommendation. You don't take things lightly. I've watched you work. It's beyond me, Board of Trustees, why you're not supporting our superintendent. You supported him every other time. And I didn't go back for 6 years or how long you've been here, but it seems to me, an outlier out here, and when reading the newspaper, it seems like y'all support our superintendent and his recommendations every other time. So it's beyond me why you're not doing it right now. Thank you.
We do thank you all for coming and expressing your opinions. And we will continue on with our board meeting. You are welcome to stay if you would like. You're also welcome to leave. We do have a big presentation coming up next, which will be on our bond project, which you might be interested in seeing. If you are leaving, I wish you all Merry Christmas and peace of this time of year. Thank you. We will go on with the next thing. We have our 2023 bond project plan preview and cost estimate presentation. Mr. Bob Shelton, our architect.
There's a little bit of wax. That's all I got. There we go. Unless you want to.
Is it okay right there?
She's already here.
I guess we're right.
Okay. Good evening,
Good evening.
school board members. Bob Shelton with Shelton Architecture, principal.
Move that mic up so we can hear you better.
Yep, Bob Shelton, principal of Shelton Architecture. We're glad to be back. I wanted to come in today and give you an update on our project and some of the stuff we've been up to, and then talk about some things that are upcoming.
Sorry.
That's wrong, it should know. What just went to sleep?
Just make sure you touch the mouse before
That you sent me if you want to use it.
Let me try this with my ass sometime. There you go.
Okay.
Just make sure you touch the.
Okay. We're back on. In early October, we did our final design reviews with the staff members at each campus at the elementary school, intermediate school, middle school, and high school. We reviewed the plans that we had developed to date. That was October 3rd, I believe. And then on October 22nd, we presented the project to the police chief, along with our security and technology consultant, and walked Devine Police Chief through all of our planned improvements, and took some really great feedback on a few items which we incorporated into our final plans. On the third week of October, we did meet to review one last section of the plans at the high school with the cosmetology teacher as well as the nurse. We had a few lingering design drawings to complete where we could get their final input. On November 5th, we completed our 90% final review set, which I believe is 207 pages. I won't go through all of those today, but I will show you a few sheets from there. Brendan and his team priced out our 90% complete drawings that we finished in November. His pricing came back right before Thanksgiving, which was the 19th. Then we came down and met with Dr. Grangine and the building committee, and I believe we did flip through all 206 pages on that day. So it's a long way. Recently, we are working with the furniture vendor to establish a budget for all the fixtures, furnishings, and equipment that will be going into the building. So that process has started. And then that brings us to today, our presentation. Some things that are upcoming. Once we present to you, take any final comments today, we'll be sealing the plans on Wednesday, providing those to Brendan and his team at Weaver and Jacobs, where they will publish them for bids. Also, since the plans are sealed, we'll be issuing those for building permit and site development permit, and any ancillary permits. I believe there's one check stock permit, and then we have an ADA review that the plans will go through. Tentative plan for a bid date is January 16th, so all bids will be received on that day, and then at that point, we will know the true project cost.
So moving on into project cost or estimated project cost right now. I went through, submitted an in-depth budget over to the building committee on the 19th. It goes through and it, as y'all can see, there's a lot of numbers on here, but basically I had it broken down into allowances, which I'm carrying roughly a little over $800,000 worth of allowances. That's for stuff that's unforeseen, unknown at this point in time, because I was putting together a budget based upon the 90% drawings. So there was still a little bit of things here and there and everywhere that I needed to kind of fill in. But overall subtotal cost before fees and architect and myself, right around 9.1 million or 9.2 million. So everything's tracking right along where we think it should be. We have designed a little bit more than what the budget will allow, with hopes that it could come in the budget depending on sub-participation. And that you can see is all of the second floor interior renovations at the high school. So there's some hopes that we might be able to get and do some of those in addition to what we have drawn for base bid within the budget.
And quick question for
Yes, sir.
Bob, possibly, I think Bob. Just so they know, it's not like they dove in, selected, and approved and finalized any of the drawings. We're bidding on based on the information that we have, based on schematic drawings, and then things change. What we're trying to do right now, basically, what you mentioned, is making sure that we're tracking on price to make sure that everything falls in. So I just want to make sure that I thought about that when you just, I don't think that we've not made any decisions or anything like that. So these are looking at.
It's been a long, drawn-out process. And I'll commend Todd and his team on the construction community. There's been a lot that's been talked about. There's been a lot of whittling. There's been a lot of changes. There's been some additions. I mean, it's been a process. So I went over, so basically as of right now, base bid budget, and he's working on bringing it all up, base bid budget is right around 12.1 million, a little over 12.1 million, and then I've got a little over about $1.1 million in alternates, basically it's a shopping list of additional ones, so that way we can go through and look and see where all that comes in and y'all can make the decision. We're a big push for us to go through and give y'all items to choose from. It's basically a shopping list. Hey, you can afford this. This is base bid, and then you go through and you pick your add-ons. So it's a final product.
Okay, I'm just going to highlight a few sheets just to remind everyone the scope of the project. This is our cover sheet. It has all of our sheets listed, and like I said, I've selected a few key sheets just to remind everyone the scope of the work. This first sheet that I've pulled is our site plan for the elementary school and intermediate school. And just to remind you, at the elementary school, we are adding a new administration suite, which connects 3 existing classroom wings, which will allow students to move between those 3 classroom wings without exiting the building. In that administration suite, we have a secure entry vestibule with security cameras and a check-in station, staff offices, nurses' office, staff restrooms, and worker. Oh, great. Okay. So there we go. So that is our administration suite, which connects the 3 existing classrooms. Another key component of this design was to fix the ADA parking and the sidewalks in this area to allow that to be the main entry to the school. On the other side of the campus, we are closing an existing breezeway. Once again, the intent there is to prevent students from needing to go outside as they transition between classes. Oh no, there it is. Is it back?
We should just click. I'm not sure why. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll just keep talking. I'm sorry. So that corridor is an existing breezeway that encloses, and in that area, we are doing a small addition to connect that breezeway to the existing building.
Let me try. Alex doing something. Man. Let me try. I'm touching. I know. Let's do it.
It goes to that, it means it doesn't have a signal.
Yeah. Jerry, why don't you look the link? You need to just click that link.
You want me to click that?
Yeah.
All right, we can do that.
I'm not sure why it's not. We can try this other cord.
Okay.
We'll just click it. There you go. There we go. Okay.
So if you can scroll down to the very first drawing sheet.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. Okay. Be prepared, that's the moral of the story. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is the breezeway that will be enclosed. There'll be a new canopy which will connect to the existing canopies. And if you can scroll down just a little bit. At the intermediate school, we're renovating the intermediate school lobby and entrance. Once again, same concept, improving the secure entry vestibule. And then also we're doing some repairs to existing plumbing facilities at the gym. And then also adding access controls at various points in and around the campus at exterior gates. The next sheet is our high school and middle school. At the high school, a big part of the project is a new bus loop, which will be in the front there. And some renovations to the existing drives that come in over here to eliminate some of the traffic confusion, and then also provide additional stacking space for buses. Also, new visitor parking with new ADA parking to get to the avenue. There is substantial renovation to the first floor of the high school where the kitchen used to be. That gets converted into the new administration suite, which moves it from the second level down to the first level. There's also some miscellaneous renovations on the interior of the high school, mostly cosmetic, but new flooring, new paint, new lights, things like that. At the middle school, we'll be adding 2 new locker rooms adjacent to the existing locker rooms to expand the amount of students that can change their dress out. Oh, thank you. Also at the middle school, there will be a new flooring, new paint, new ceilings throughout the corridors and in the cafeteria. So this is just a blow up of the elementary school, just so you can see the configuration of that new administration addition. This will be the front door, where people will then enter the secure vestibule and either be checked in to visit admin staff or be checked into the campus. And if you scroll further down, you'll get a little bit better look at that corridor enclosure. So part of the corridor enclosure was also to route students out this side of the building to leave this space vacant for future addition. Next sheet is our intermediate school. You can see the reconfiguration of the existing vestibule, addition of a storage closet, which will allow after-hours access to the gymnasium without having to enter the campus. So someone leasing out the gym or there's an after-school practice or something like that, they won't have to go in through the school. And then this is the little bit of plumbing work over there by the gymnasium. Here's our middle school. You can see the locker banks set in the areas of addition. And then the shaded areas are all areas getting new flooring, new paint, and finish repairs. High school. This is the new main entry to the high school. Parents will enter here. They'll be in a secured waiting area where they can interact with receptionists, be cleared to enter the campus through this secondary waiting room. Secondary waiting room is utilized by students coming to the office, so they don't have to exit in order to go to the office. And then we have counselors, assistant principals, conference rooms, principal's office, and nurse's suite in this area. The other component of the design is addition of a new staircase, which is in the existing stage area. So that will be built into the new stage area, and the stage area becomes the secondary waiting room. I believe the next sheet is the upstairs at the high school. These are the three areas which Brendan has broke out the pricing on individually, so you'll be able to see those on midday. This is the new cosmetology suite. It's an existing classroom. It's renovated to become a new cosmetology laboratory. 24 stations, hair washing, mirrors, cabinetry, and then new washer dryer, and what they call a store where they keep all the goods. It's designed to feel like you're going to a salon, so there'll be a check-in station. There's windows from the teacher's office to look out, and it's actually a really nice space. It's got a lot of high windows in there now, so we're really excited about that. This is the stairs from the first floor that will be in the stage area, along with our elevator and machine.
Are these all alternate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. All three of those are identified individually. The central portion here is the renovation of the existing administration area to become a communications and media lab. Large workspace, a room to broadcast school news, audio recording rooms, things like that. The other side of that area is a health sciences or EMT classroom, which is in this space here. It's currently the teacher's workroom. The nurse's suite, the main nurse's suite with 2 sick bays is in this area here. And then the last component is what's called a simulation lab, which is it's set up to look like a hospital. So it's intended to mimic what it's like learning how to work in a hospital. The last section is the technology department. It's an existing classroom which is being converted into a space for repair of technology equipment, offices, and a receiving area, so deliveries don't have to come through there. The last few drawings are the building exteriors. You can probably go past these. These are just blow-ups of the things that we've already reviewed. Yeah, we can go past those guys. Here we go. This is the exterior views of the administration addition. I've got a couple of 3D images of that later. It'll probably look more interesting than these, but Brendan will need these to build it. But anyways, we've got the front, and then the side views, and then the 2 courtyard views. If you can scroll up the page just a hair. This is the what is the current breezeway, which will be an enclosed court. The next sheet is our exterior high school views. So since we are, these are middle school views. You can see the 2 locker room additions on either side of the existing gyms is in the middle. Lastly, this is the new high school entry. We'll be installing a new canopy with building letters on the front to inform people how to enter the facility. This will be right across from visitor parking. So this provides a covered drop-off canopy and then a covered canopy to enter the main entry. And the last two sheets, I believe, are color renderings. This is a rendering of the new elementary school entry. We've got an ADA ramp that switchbacks here to the front door, and then new steps up to the front. And then lastly, this is the new canopy at the high school. This will become the main visitor entry here, and then the main student day-to-day entry here. I should mention every door that we're putting in has access controls, security cameras, etc. And I think that's all I have. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, next we have our middle school campus report. Ms. Darnell?
Evening. Well, y'all know it's gonna be simple, right?
Yes.
That's good. I don't mess this thing up. Oh, please. Okay. First of all, we have, and as of now, we have 136 on the 6th grade, and we're down to 168. We lost one, picked up one. Go figure. Okay. So 431 middle school kids. We've been averaging 96.49% attendance. Trying everything to get them there.
Compared to last year, it was like in the 93s
I know.
and 94s
So, yeah.
for the whole district, so.
But you know, I even tried phones because that worked so well last year. And they actually told me that if I gave them a day with pajamas, like seriously, you want pajamas on a Friday so you come to school the rest of the week. Okay, go figure, I don't know. But that might be something I might be willing to try if it'll get me there. I just don't know. You know, pajamas is kind of a scary thing. With middle school kids, holy moly. No, but anyway, we're getting them there. Our kids get a well-rounded education. They've been doing a lot of hands-on things. Mr. Mulgren's class, their critical thinking skills, they're doing debates. They were debating whether or not it was, they were justified to arrest Stephen F. Austin after he came to Texas. And then Ms. Bowman's class, they were doing heat transfer. And then one of the kids brought some kind of liquid. He got all over him. I'm like, because we can't get it off. Like, oh my God. So I called Mr. Moore, and we figured out how to get it off. But so much for hands-on, I don't know. Okay. Coach Wattis' class, they were also doing some cooperative learning. They were trying to figure out different ways to insulate liquids. So they had all kinds of things full, and then they put some, one of them they even used, what was it, styrofoam? Had this big old contraption, I don't know. I don't know if it worked actually. Coach Bailey does a lot of writing with her kids, so she uses a lot of different text structures. We have a writing class, creative writing class, and then they also get it as part of we have a middle school matters class. And part of that came about when we had kids that were struggling in 7th grade. And so we were trying to come up with a class that would help them. So they actually learned to organize, how to study, how to take tests. So they do a lot of writing, they do a lot of speaking. So Coach Bailey gets them going really well. So, here's Mr. Logan again. He had them producing some digital like commercials using Google Slides. And again, it was to get people to come live in Texas. This is during the early part of Texas. Kids really liked it a lot. We just finished a one-act play on Saturday. If you haven't seen these kids act, this Thursday in the afternoon, they will be repeating their performance. They are good. They were really good. We won by over 1,000 points. I think Regional was right at 500. But we won, I think we had 2 kids that were honorable mentions. We have 4 kids that won All-Star Cast. Nolan Beatty was Best Actor. We won the Best Tech, Best Crew, So kids really did a good job. And the rest of our kids, like I said, this is our 14th year in a row to win the sweepstakes. But then I also think we had the most kids in UIL at the district meeting. That was on the 13th. But they did a great job. PLCs, we managed to work, we worked PLCs into our teachers. We were doing, trying to get it done in the morning, but we managed to rework our schedule so we could use part of lunch since we split the lunch and part of Pride. So some kids are in Pride, and so those teachers are in PLCs with Ms. Schuling. And then they're going every other week because that's about the best we can do on that. We don't have the time, unfortunately. But we managed to structure our day so we can work it out. Oop, did I just turn off? No. Okay, we worked hard in the classroom, and our kids so far have done really, really well. Cross country, our 7th and 8th grade boys finished second, and our girls, both of them won district. And I don't know, I used to run, but not anymore. It's been a long time. Our 8th graders undefeated again this year. Our 7th graders, they were 5-3, but they played hard. They had some good games. Volleyball, again, 8th grade girls undefeated, 7th grade girls won the district. If you didn't get to see them play, you missed out. Basketball right now, they're doing really well. So, and I watched the boys play they were really good last week. All right, these are our groups. We have theater arts group. They're putting on a Christmas play tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Come see that. Principals group. That's a little crew that I put together, and it's whoever wants to join. There's no criteria. It's just helping out, community service, doing things. They were at the Reef Cross Marathon Saturday. The week before, in the rain, we put flags at the veterans' grave. They'll be back in January to pick up the wreaths. They were cleaning up the school, so we need to redo the front. So we've been working at cleaning up. We also have the Student Council, the NJHS, and Mr. Morris got the Woodcutters Club. So, and they've done some new designs this year. They actually did a gingerbread man. Came out pretty cool. And they're doing new designs on their Christmas tree, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. Okay. All right, this is life. This week we've been doing all kinds of things. We did do like our regular Halloween thing. So that's Mr. Chris. He looks like death. That's Mr. Chris. They decided they needed someone to throw a pie at, so yes, I volunteered. In fact, I even did it the other day. We were throwing a part of our fundraiser. The kid didn't wait. He threw it before I was ready and caught me on the shoulder, but that's his fault. He missed. Our library's done a little remake. Ms. Irwin's come in there and changed things up, cleaned it up, and so we've had our Art 1 kids who are now getting credit for high school art painting in there, so they've been painting the walls and doing some different things on the walls for the library. It looks pretty cool, so if you get a chance, come see that. Rich came by. I never saw him, but he was there. We also had a float in the as part of the community in the fall festival. That was kind of fun. It was, I think the kids were surprised to see us, but it was also fun to throw candy at them. I also have a new award. It's the Remarkable Teacher, because our thing this year is leaving your mark. What's your mark? So our Remarkable Teacher, this is the second one. Miss Priest was our first one. So Christian was our second one. We did a day where anything but a cup, so bring whatever you want to drink your coffee out of, and that's Mr. Lorraine drinking out of a beaker. Let's see, what else? Well, these are all parade things. There's Mr. Lorraine again. And of course, Christmas time, we were the elves. Unfortunately, our kids aren't dressing up as much. We have all these things, but because they can wear whatever they want, they're just like, so they're not doing a whole lot. So, you got any questions for me?
Okay, I like the pictures very much.
Okay.
Very much.
That is it. That's Devine. So middle school. So you want to come down and visit us anytime? Like I said, the One Act plays tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the middle school cafeteria. It's a Christmas one. I haven't seen that, so I don't know what it's like. But Thursday is the One Act play. They're putting it on, and those kids are really good. So.
What time is that Thursday?
It's right after lunch. I'm trying to think at 12:30, I believe. I can call you and give you the exact time if you want. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, board members, before we go into our administrative reports and everything, I'd like to move us down to the action item B, since we have our guest here. Consider and take possible action to name the DSAC basketball court. Dr. Grandjean?
Yes, ma'am. So the Sessions family has a long-standing and meaningful connection to Devine ISD. Combined decades of leadership roles in the classroom, on the playing field or court, in administration, and even as volunteers as a scorekeeper or bus driver, Don, Gail, Neva, and Jim contributed more than 108 years of impeccable service to the school and the wonderful community of Devine. The Sessions family as a whole upheld values of integrity, dedication, and respect that embody the very spirit of DISD and stands as a testament to their unyielding devotion to not only the district, but to every student that had the honor of being in their classroom or within the same locker room or sports arena. So our administrative considerations are: the administration proposes naming the playing court inside the Devine Student Activity Center as Sessions Court in honor of all 4 members of the Sessions family. While it is true that Gail and Jim were actually the only 2 Sessions to coach basketball and amass over 1,800 victories in the sport, recognizing the entire Sessions family and the impact, including Don and Neva, would set a powerful message for the generations about the family values and the things that this district cherishes. Sessions Court would serve as a reminder for the past and present Arabians and warhorses of a legacy left behind, while also serving as an ongoing inspiration for future generations that devotion to a school and to a community is appreciated and respected by those who have the decision-making opportunities such as yourselves. Not to mention the century worth of devotion in years combined, not being overlooked. So thank you for considering this tribute, and I would make a recommendation in that favor.
And if you don't mind, I'd like the privilege to move to name the DSAC basketball court as Sessions Court.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand, please. I would like to personally thank Gail, my friend, and wish you thank you. If you will now move back with me to the administrator reports, and we'll go to Dr. Grandjean's report first.
First off, I would like to thank, there's a person in the room that helped me write that, that had a lot more information than I do, and knowing the person, they didn't want me to recognize them, so just so they know, I appreciate their help very much. On our board report, first priority, as you remember, when we sold our bonds for $11.255 million, we put those into an investment pool. We're still earning over $50,000 a month interest on those to help offset our incurred interest costs. We currently keep all vacancies for Devine ISD posted on our website, also on a statewide digital hiring platform, and we're also currently in the process of addressing all of our staffing requirements for next year. Even with these things posted, every time we get a notice of a employee or somebody potentially making the retirement jump or planning to leave the district, we address those issues. So our district vulnerability assessment, as you remember, Thursday, December 12th, mentioned that we were going to go over our district admin team and the breakdown of findings or designing plans for each area. This has been done. Like I mentioned before, great help from our new partner, GB Defense Solutions, and the digital mapping that they've done. There's some other solutions that they're going to be able to help us with whenever we address the breakdown of the vulnerability assessment. When we asked the gentleman, I think Mr. Gomez, he said on a scale that we will be like an A+ basically, right? Compared to some of the others. We were able to go to Region 20 and do a presentation to the other school districts based on our experience. We were asked by the leadership there. Mr. Gomez talked for a little while. I got up and smiled, and that's about how that went. But people often get nervous when TEAs come into a school district because you don't know what to expect. And it was a very good experience for us. So we were happy to share that. Our custodial and maintenance candidate has taken over. I think it's running smoothly. Everything's going great. Jerry loves it that we don't get calls anymore. I think we made a good decision. There are things that we're addressing with the bond that are still staying in our office, but one of the things that we like to note is that we hope to have our teachers moved in the pre-K building within the next 15 days. Some of them were moving themselves in already. We told them, I said, just stack a little something on each kid and then be like little ants back and forth. But when they're pre-K, if they get more than about, 8 pounds, it's not much. We received a response from the representative of the contractor representative stating that they have initiated a remedy for the stair project. We had a reply back from them into the proposal we had to rectify the situation. And if our proposal was about this, theirs was about this. And so, we're starting that negotiation process. I always tell Jerry it's like gas monkey garage, right? I got to tell them. Let them make the offer first, and then we come back with something about double, and we're going to land somewhere in the middle. Don't have to do a bond recap project. Those gentlemen took care of that. So any other questions that you have about anything else, be happy to answer. But other than that, I think that's all I have.
Okay, the next is the safety and security report by Michael Gomez. Do you have any questions on that for him? That's a new report from him. Thank you. We have a report from the Director of HR and Information Management, Don Schneider. Any questions? From our Director of Special Education, Jenny Hagdorn. No questions? And our business reports from Shannon. And then all of our principals' reports. Any questions for any of them? And our director's reports. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of our board meeting, our Wash, Gallegos, Trevino, Kyle, and Robinson Legal Services Retainer Agreement, and to approve a donation from the Athletic Boosters. I think you've all seen those. Could I have a motion on that consent agenda?
Madam President, I move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
I have a motion by Carl and a second by Henry to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Passes 7-0. Our first action item is to consider and take possible action to approve the revised SRO agreement. Angie.
All right, so some history. In 2003, City of Devine received a 3-year COPS grant in schools, which offered the opportunity for applicants to enter into a partnership with an official or a specific entity that would provide a law enforcement official at student campuses. The grant ended in 2005, and the administrators requested that the board approved a continued agreement with the partnership, City of Devine, in providing a school resource officer, which we currently have. The SRO's emphasis is on school safety, truancy, and building positive relationships within our campuses and crime prevention. So our administrative consideration is that the City of Devine is requesting a revision to our agreement. We brought this back originally because the wording on the agreement for the past 8 to 9 years said not to. The language said salary not to include not to exceed $50,000. So we brought that to you guys. We said, well, let's read this a little different to where it says not to exceed $50,000, including overtime and benefits. So to change that language, goes back to the city. They wanted to be able to give us some room, or them some room, based on salary increases to where we don't have to revisit this for another 5 years, to just have the language say not to exceed $65,000, exclude overtime and benefits from the cap. We feel like that's reasonable. The last, I don't know if we're supposed to say what the increases were, the salary, but it was over $2.50, including the per hour rate and a certification that SROs must pass with Senate Bill 1707 to have basically the alert training, the same thing that we do in the Guardian program. Once they have 90 days, once they take that role in the school district to complete that. City of Devine offers them another, I think it's another 50 cents per hour once they continue that training and that certification. So what we're recommending is the implementation and approval of the new interlocal agreement recommended by the City of Devine.
I did ask the question of what we have paid in the past, just so we knew what that difference would be. What we paid last year was a little over $51,000, and of that, $6,000 of it was the overtime that we're responsible for. So this would give us a lot of leeway in the next couple of years for any increases that might be coming. Anybody have any questions on that for him? Could I have a motion then?
Madam President, I move to approve the revised SRO agreement as presented. Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Henry and a second by Carl to approve the revised SRO agreement. All in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. And that completes our business before closed session tonight. So the board will enter into closed session at 7:35 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, for the purpose of discussing items listed under the Texas Government Code Section 551.074, 551.076, and 551.08 to note final actions, decisions, or votes will be taken while the board is in an executive session. Thank you all for coming tonight. You're welcome to stay till after the closed session, but I don't know how long that'll be, so you're welcome to stay if you want.
Well, 15.
Thank you.
When we get the kids back in.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't make any